Darkness. That's all I could see as I slowly opened my eyes. My heart pounded in my chest, and a cold sweat broke out on my forehead. I couldn't remember how I got here. The last thing I could recall was going to bed in my small apartment, alone. Now, I found myself in a dimly lit, eerie room that seemed to be devoid of any life. I pushed myself up and looked around, feeling an unsettling presence that sent shivers down my spine. The room was filled with peculiar symbols etched into the walls and strange artifacts scattered around. The air was heavy, as if laden with the weight of centuries of secrets and sorrow. My mind raced as I tried to understand where I was and how I had ended up here. Suddenly, a low whisper echoed through the room. I strained to hear the words, but they were indecipherable, leaving only a sense of foreboding. As I moved to the exit, the walls seemed to close in around me. The room began to distort and warp, and I stumbled backward, startled. Fear crept into every fiber of my being. Was I losing my mind? Had I finally succumbed to the weight of the world? As I fled the room, I found myself in a seemingly endless corridor of flickering lights and shifting shadows. Each step I took echoed loudly in the oppressive silence. The whispering grew louder, and I could swear I heard my name being called. My heart pounded, and I quickened my pace. From the darkness, sinister figures emerged, their forms indistinct and menacing. I blinked, and they were gone. I tried to dismiss the visions as mere tricks of the mind, but the hallucinations persisted. My grip on reality slipped further and further away. Finally, I stumbled upon a small door at the end of the corridor. Relieved, I flung it open, hoping to find a way out of this nightmarish place. Instead, I stepped into an eerie forest shrouded in fog. The air was thick with an unsettling stillness, and the trees loomed over me like silent sentinels. As I wandered deeper into the woods, the whispers followed, a constant torment that gnawed at my sanity. The shadows seemed to come alive, dancing and contorting in the periphery of my vision. Every rustle of leaves and creak of branches sent me into a state of heightened anxiety. Amidst the dense foliage, I caught a glimpse of a figure standing just beyond the fog's reach. It was a woman, her face obscured by a tangle of dark hair. She beckoned me closer, and despite my better judgment, I felt drawn to her. As I approached, she reached out to touch me, and an icy chill washed over me. Panic set in as I realized that I was not alone. More figures emerged from the darkness, their faces twisted into grotesque masks of despair and rage. "Who are you?" I stammered, my voice barely above a whisper. "We are your fears," the woman replied, her voice echoing in my mind. "We are the darkness that resides within you." I wanted to run, to escape this waking nightmare, but my feet were rooted to the ground. The entities surrounded me, their presence suffocating. Memories of past traumas surfaced, blending with the terror of the present. Suddenly, a piercing pain shot through my head, and the world blurred before me. The images of the entities overlapped with memories of my therapy sessions, and it all began to make sense. I was not being haunted by malevolent beings, I was haunted by my own mind. Tears welled up in my eyes as the realization hit me like a sledgehammer. I had been living with schizophrenia, battling a world of hallucinations and delusions. But my mind had constructed this elaborate tapestry of terror, making it impossible to discern between reality and illusion. As this epiphany washed over me, the entities vanished, leaving me alone in the dark forest. I fell to my knees, sobbing uncontrollably. The weight of my own mind had become too much to bear. In that moment of clarity, I knew I had to confront my demons and seek help. I had to face the reality that my mind could play tricks on me and that I needed support to distinguish between fact and fiction. With renewed determination, I made my way back through the corridor and the strange room, determined to return to the outside world. Though the journey ahead would be challenging, I knew that understanding my condition was the key to freeing myself from the clutches of my mind's creations. And so, the terrifying journey of self-discovery began, a path riddled with darkness and despair, but also hope and healing. It was a battle I would fight every day, knowing that victory over my own mind was the most significant triumph I could achieve. But deep inside, I couldn't help but wonder, would I ever fully escape the haunting within? Or would the shadows and whispers always linger, ready to reclaim my sanity if I let my guard down?